chapter 12 is all about getting into the specific pieces of statistics. All right, so in the previous chapter, we looked at how the data can be collected, organized, and displayed. By looking at the appropriate graphs, we can get an idea of the distribution, how the data is spread out, how it's set up, all that stuff. So you can get a better understanding of data if you look at the middle or center and measure its spread or dispersion. So knowing one of these without the other is of little use. So that's probably the one thing about statistics. You've got to look at statistics as a whole and all of the pieces that comprise it. All right, so A is all about measuring the center. The mode can be a measurement of this of the center, especially for discrete data. The mode is the most frequently occurring value. And if it's continuous data, we talk about the modal class, that range of values that has the most often. If there are two sets of values, it's called bimodal. All right, so you guys have been dealing with mean for a long time. It's just the average where you add everything up and divide by the amount. So the notation is probably good to start to understand. This is just your Greek letter sigma. Sigma just adds up all of the data values. So this is just a more succinct way to write it. This is a good information here. X bar measures the mean of the sample, and mu, the Greek letter mu, represents the population. So in a lot of cases, we don't have the data from the population. And so many times we use the sample X bar to approximate the mean for the population. Median's just the middle number when you put everything in order. If it's an odd number of data, it's just is one of the original. It's just the middle number itself. If you have an even number, then you have to average the two middle. So if they're put in order, the median, we take n plus 1 divided by 2. That's the data value we need to use. So for example, if you have 13 data points, we need the seventh data value. If there's 14, an even amount, you need 7.5. So you average 7 and 8. All right, so because I'm doing this from home, I don't have the board. I just copied from the book. So the first thing they want is the mean. So you just add them all up, divide by 21. So 113 divided by 21 is approximately 5.38. And it's always good to know context. We're talking about the number of faulty products returned to an electrical goods store each day over 21 days. Okay. So the second part is the median. So since we have 21 data points, 21 plus 1 divided by 2 is 11. So when you put them all in order, the 11th data point is 5. So the median is 5 faulty products. 3 is the data value that occurs most often, so the mode is 3. So this is just basic straight finding the values. Okay, so B is a little bit more interesting. All right, so if 9, notice of all the numbers, 9's the highest. If on the next day there's 9 faulty products, how does this affect the measure of the center? Obviously, the mean would increase because that's greater than the old mean. So when we find the new mean, we add 9, and now we have 22 days. So it's up to 5.55 faulty products. We now have an even amount of days, so we're going to have to average the 11th and 12th day. So now the median is 5.5, and now there's two modes, which are 3 and 9. All right. If 6 people have a mean or average mass of 53.7, you come across the mean by taking the sum divided by the amount to get 53.7. So the total sum we just get by multiplying to get 322.2 kilograms. All right, so choosing the appropriate measure is probably a little bit harder. The finding the centers is just your basic math stuff. It's interpreting it that's the tricky part of statistics. You can interpret data many different ways. So the mean, median, and mode can all be used to indicate the center. The most appropriate measure depends on the type of data under consideration. All right, so go ahead and get all of this copied here. And I think that the examples down here really help with what I'm talking about. It says, a shoe store is investigating the sizes of shoes sold over 1 month. The mean shoe size is not useful to know because it will probably not be an actual shoe size. However, the mode shows at a glance which size the store most commonly has to restock. The second example. On a particular day, a computer shop makes sales of blah, blah, blah. In this case, the mode is meaningless. It doesn't matter which one has the most. The median is 1120 and the mean is 1200. So the mean is the best measure of center because the salesman can use it to predict average profit. And finally, when looking at real estate prices, the mean is distorted by the few sales of expensive houses. For a typical buyer, the median will indicate the price they should expect to pay in a particular area. So it's all about how you want to analyze your data.